A very good morning, class. I am here to discuss about the classification of goods. How are the goods classified? We saw that the division of goods are on the basis of nature, on the basis of use, on the basis of value, on the basis of ownership. Different categorizations are there. So before we begin the classification, I would like to inform, I would like to have a recapitulation of the last class, last video, what we made. What is the good? What is a good? The wants that is must know what is goods. What is goods? Anything which is capable of satisfying human wants, or anything which has the power to satisfy human wants is known as goods. Anything which is capable enough to satisfy human wants is known as goods. There will be a term that will come across. The term is utility. Many a times in economics we will come across this term. Anything which is capable enough anything which is capable to satisfy human wants. To satisfy human wants is called goods. Anything which is capable to satisfy human wants is called goods. Or anything which has utility and can satisfy human wants is known as goods. Now, the term utility means want satisfying capacity or want satisfying power of a good. The term utility means must know this term utility. Utility, this term we are going to be using more or less in economics every now and then. So you must be clear about this. Want satisfying capacity, or you can say power of a good. Power of a good. Want satisfying capacity or power of a good is called utility. Okay, two terms I have talked about. The first one is utility, that is want satisfying capacity or power of a good is called utility. Whereas what is goods? Anything which is capable enough to satisfy or capable of satisfying human wants is called goods. So today we are going to talk about the classification of goods, and the first classification is on the basis of nature. On the basis of nature, the goods are further subcategorized into material goods and non-material goods. Now, material goods are those goods which can be seen, touched, felt, and have a definite shape is called material goods. Anything and everything around us is a material good, which we can see, which we can touch, we can come about their sizes, their shapes. That is the material goods. Whereas non-material goods are those goods which cannot be seen, which cannot be touched, which can be only felt is non-material goods. Examples are services of the doctors, teachers, lawyers, chartered accountants, etc. These are different groups of people who provide these services, who render their services. So that is why non-material goods are even known as services. Okay. Now, second categorization is on the basis of value. On the basis of value, the goods are categorized into free goods and economic goods. Free goods are those goods which are freely available, for which we do not need to pay anything. that is a free gift of nature. Air, water, sunshine, all these are examples of free goods. As far as economic goods are concerned, all those goods for which we need to pay something. The moment we pay something, it becomes economical goods, it becomes economic goods. In the study of economics, the concept of free good is not there. We are only supposed to know about economic goods for which we pay something, for which there is exchange of something. We take a product, we pay a price. We pay a price, we take a product. That exchange is there. That means it is a economic goods. Third is on the basis of use. On the basis of use, that is consumer goods, capital goods, intermediate goods, final goods. These are different types of goods. So consumer goods are those goods which are the final one. Consumer goods are those goods which are used to satisfy, or which are the final part, which are used to satisfy human wants directly. Means it's a ready-made product, it's a final product which can be used to satisfy the human wants on a direct basis. These are consumer goods. Everything that you see around yourself is a consumer good. Now, consumer goods are further subcategorized into single-user, durable, then you have semi-durable and services. Single-user is that is one-time consumption and then the life of the product gets over. All the edible items like egg, the moment we consume, the life of the egg is over. Durable product which has a longer life, which lasts for a longer period of time. Okay, all the benches that you see in the school is a durable goods. Means that can be used for many years. Semi-durable goods are those goods which fall in between durable and single-user goods. Means the consumption does not last for a particular time, for a particular moment, but it can go for a bit longer than single-user and lesser than durable. The last one is services. Services are basically those factors or basically those supporting hand which is delivered to the person through different mediums. Next is capital goods. Next categorization is capital goods. So capital goods are used basically for the production of some other goods. It is with the help of the factor inputs only, or it is with the help of the four factors for production only, that some other final goods are produced. Four factors of production are land, labor, capital and entrepreneurship. Next one is final goods. What is the final goods? Final goods are those goods which are ready to be used and no further addition is required to be made into that particular product, into that particular goods. Means once the product is final, that means it is only for the consumption purpose only. Either consumption will be done by the manufacturer himself or herself or by the consumers. Okay, final product is one which is ready to be used, which is ready to be consumed. Next is types of final goods. Types of final goods are further subcategorized into consumer goods and capital goods. Consumer goods are those goods which are used or which are consumed by the consumers. The moment a thing is consumed by the consumer, it is a consumer goods, and a moment a good is consumed by the producer, it is a capital goods. Next is intermediate goods. Next and the last this is intermediate goods. Intermediate goods are those goods which have not touched their final production boundary, which have not touched the final line of production boundary, and it can be resold further for the value addition. Means if a product, for example, sugar cane can be transformed into sugar. So sugar cane here will be a intermediate product, and the transformation to sugar will be a final product. Means the moment sugar cane gets converted to sugar, that is the final product, but till the time it is a sugar cane only, it is an intermediate product. Okay, so all those things, all those materials which help out in the production of final goods are prior to the formation of final goods are known as intermediate goods. First point. Second characteristic is they can be used for the reselling purpose, they can be resold further for value addition. Examples, there are two examples which are mentioned in the book. I will just read out the example. The first one is, suppose that a sugar mill purchases sugar cane. Suppose that a sugar mill purchases sugar cane from the farmers. which is used to produce sugar. Now, sugarcane is thus an intermediate goods. Sugarcane is thus over here intermediate goods, because there is a better product can be made and a better value can be gained, a better price can be achieved. Okay, second example is sugar purchased by a wholesaler from sugar mill is meant for resale. So sugar in the hands of dealer is an intermediate goods. Till the time it does not reaches to the final user, final consumer, it is considered to be an intermediate goods. Okay. So this is all about the types of goods. There are more two types on the basis of durability, on the basis of ownership, and the distinction between intermediate goods and final goods, which we are supposed to see in the next class. Thank you, class.